You were homeschooled.
Yeah.
Basically your entire
high school.
High school.
Yeah.
Just high school.
Yeah, just high school.
I read where you got bullied. Did you get homeschooled because you got bullied and it was the safe space for you to be at home, or what caused that?
I got homeschooled because I was on that Nickelodeon show, and because it was too hard to go
to school, juggle.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, I'm never one to back down from a fight. So if someone's bullying me, I'm not gonna let them bully me out of submission.
Right.
But yeah, it was mainly just because I was working so much as an actor. It just made more sense. Yeah.
I read that you got jumped. Do you think it had something to do with you being on that Nickelodeon show?
Yeah, it very much did.
But it took 5 though.
It did take 5. That
you was swinging on them. Meagan, you was swinging out.
No, because when I realized it was all coming from my face, I was like, oh no, we're not gonna do that. So I actually laid down on the ground, and back then that's when the big clunker shoes were really popular. I started kicking people in the gut. Anybody who came near me, I just spin around kicking them in the gut. And it's so funny because I ran into this girl some years later, and she had told a mutual friend of ours that she had just beat me up, and I was like, no, you and 4 other hookers beat me up. What is you saying right now? And it's crazy because after that fight happened, I went looking for that girl all around town because I was like, I just want to fight just you. And the Lord told me not to do it. And I did it, and I found some of her friends, and then some guys came, and then I had some of my guys come, and the next thing you know, people have shanks and all kinds of things going out, and we have a huge brawl inside of Jerry's Deli, and I broke the back of my nail back breaking a chair on someone's back who was choking my friend. And by the time we got out to the parking lot, somebody pulled up on a motorcycle with a gun and threatened to shoot us all, and we all went running like cockroaches, and then I was in the bushes praying, and I was like, Lord, I didn't listen, and this wasn't right, and now everybody else's life is in danger. And after that, that particular guy actually ended up getting into a situation where someone shot him but didn't kill him but hurt him, and I found out where he was at, because after that I was scared for my life for like 2 weeks. I went to his hospital room and said, look, let's just squash the beef, blah, blah, blah. And about a year later, I'm on a TV show doing a reoccurring role, and he's one of the writers on the show, and we've been friends ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you about that life growing up? I mean, I'm looking at you.
I'm a KU country girl, but I've been around a lot of crazy.
I'm looking at your petite self, and you know, like, okay, you on TV, you like, I ain't gonna mess up my face, I ain't gonna mess up my nails, and you like, body.
Because I just felt like, I just couldn't believe that somebody had like taken it upon themselves to come into my space, and the reason that the girls did it is because they were like, oh, aren't you that one girl from that TV show? And I was like, yeah, and they were like, oh, you think you all that? And I was like,
yeah.
No. I was like, you the one who said that. You think I'm all that. And then they was like, come outside. I was like, no, I'm not going outside. And then that became them jumping me. So I just couldn't let it be. But now I know better, because it ain't worth it. Right. If someone had actually gotten hurt, you know, I don't think I could live that down. So
I read that a teacher, she did something. She did tear your homework up. She misplaced your homework.
Which teacher? Because where I grew up in Santa Clarita, like I said, there was a lot of racism. Right, so I had trouble with at least my 5th grade teacher and my 6th grade teacher. Okay. My 5th grade teacher actually slapped me on the back. My mom got her suspended. And then my 6th grade teacher just really picked on me. It's like if I wore lip gloss, she'd take my lip gloss, but she let the other little girls who didn't have the same complexion as me wear lip gloss.
Oh, okay.
She'd take my things and put them in the June box. And then in this particular instance, my dad had given me these coins. And because my dad was LAPD and my mom and my dad weren't together, we didn't always see our dad that often at that time. So anytime he gave me a collection of coins, it was like a really big deal to me. And the teacher took them and put them in the June box. So I was supposed to get them back in June. And another little girl was like, oh, those are mine. And I was like, no, those aren't. And she's like, yes, they are. And the teacher was like, stop lying, Meagan. And I was like, why do I have to be lying? And it was just kind of always that situation. But the girl gave him back like 3 years later and apologized. I didn't punch her.
You got some anger issues. Now, hopefully you.
I did not punch her.
But you thought about it.
At that time, I don't know. I'm not aggressive in that way. I'm one of those people who if you continue to mess with me and you get me to a certain point, then I'm upset that you got me to that point because it takes so much for me. I'm so like, it ain't that serious.
So let me get this straight. The June box is something, if the teacher takes something from you in September, October, November,
Yep.
they place it in this June box, and
Yep.
at the end of the year when school is over, you get to get it back.
Yes. Yes.
So she took your coins that your father had given you. Obviously, your mom and dad's not together, so it holds a little bit more sentimental value to you because
more.
he's not around every single day.
Yeah.
She places it in that.
Yep.
And then
she didn't keep no records, or maybe she did, but she gave them to another
I stole
kid.
it back.
I would've- if I knew where that girl lived, maybe.
You said in Santa Clarita, where you grew up at,
Yeah.
a lot of times you were the only black
kid.
child.
Yeah.
And so obviously, if you're the only black child in that area, probably you're going to be one of a handful of in that high school. So did you deal with a lot of racism in high school, or with just isolated incidents?
Well, definitely in elementary school, quite a bit. And then in junior high, a little bit. That's around when kids started busting in,
Right.
like black kids started busting in. But then it was kind of like in the beginning, it was like the black kids was like, "Why you talk like that?" And I'm like, "Talk like what?" They're like you white. I'm like, "I don't talk like I'm white." They're like, "Yes, you do." I'm like, "How?" So,
Right.
anyways, as I sound so crazy right now with my voice going high, but anyway, so I think for me, I almost felt like I didn't really fit in anywhere, kind of growing up, which I think actually worked to my benefit, because then I just kind of learned how to be authentically myself and unapologetically in that, but also how to be a chameleon and get along with anyone and go in any space and be comfortable.
How old were you in the role in Friday?
13.
13.
Yeah.
And you had the scene, the ice cream truck with Big Perm. I mean,
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Worm.
Yeah.
And so,
Mess.
what was it like? Because Chris Tucker, Ice Cube, Faison, John
Yeah.
Witherspoon, Bernie Mac.
Yes.
Were you on the set with? Were you on the set with any of those guys other than Tucker, Chris Tucker, and Ice Cube?
Yeah, what's crazy is at that time, Michael Clark Duncan was Tiny Lester stand-in.
Mm-hmm.
And, F. Gary Gray was 25 years old, first movie. And basically for those two scenes that I had in the movie, I was probably on set for almost 3 weeks waiting to shoot my scenes.
Wow.
And so I spent a lot of time with everybody. But one thing I'll never forget is Tiny, I was eating a tuna sandwich and he said, "Can I have one?" I said, yeah. So I went and I made him one and I came back. And then Michael was like, "Well, where's mine?" And I was like, "Well, you didn't ask for one." He was like, "Yeah, but you didn't ask me if I wanted one." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then he said to me, "Just remember as you go along in your career, make sure you treat every single person on set the same exact way. Everybody has a role and everybody has a job and everybody is important." And I was like, right. And that stuck with me. So I always did that and I've always done that. And then it was really cool to do Debs with Michael Clark Duncan when I was 22, all those years later. And he was a wonderful person.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because we like to do something before two something.